All right. Okay. I think we have waited about 1 to 2 minutes. Good evening, everybody. Okay. I think for most of the participants are come from the Southeast Asia region. Professor Irek Kopchu, which is right now around that region is about 7 or 6 p.m. Depending on which country in Southeast Asia. So a warm welcome to Professor Irek Kopchu, our distinguished speaker for tonight webinar. All right. So Professor Irek Kopchu, uh, topics will be regenerative medicine and surgery, new ideas and innovation. And okay. So Professor, are you ready to share your screen?
I'm ready. Let me
Okay.
share. Thank you,
Let me
Eddie.
stop sharing my screen first.
It's
Okay.
okay.
Yeah. All right.
You see my,
Yes, we can see your screen.
yes, perfect. Perfect. Okay. Thank you very much again. It's very nice to hear your voice, see you, and good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are in the world right now, whatever time it is. I greet you with my most sincere feelings, love, and respect. So I would like to share our innovations in regenerative medicine and surgery. So actually, my title is Pragmatic Regenerative Applications with New Ideas and Innovations, because theoretically you can read many new articles, but the most important thing, how we use in our clinical routine in our office. My learning objectives in this presentation will be, who am I? I'm going to introduce myself, and I would like to share changing world and its reflection on medicine, and especially for plastic surgery. I would like to give an overview of regenerative medicine and surgery for plastic perspective. I'm going to discuss medicine and surgery, and we will compare all of them. I will give some examples, new ideas and innovations, not only adipose-derived stromal cells, but also blood-derived. And I would like to give small information of exosome and our newest technique. And mainly, I'm going to focus three different the instruments. One is we called Adenizer ultra-sharp blade system. Other one is the newest PRP tool, and also I would like to give a new approach for using of the exosome. It's so important because there are huge amount of products in the market, and I think we should control we should create protocols in exosome applications. So we called an approach called alarms, all about regenerative transport. We should know the real protocols, but we have a lot of difficulties for that one. Let me introduce myself first. I'm plastic and reconstructive surgery professor from Izmir, Turkey. I have been several different positions in different universities, but the main specification in this field, I'm the first founder of the regenerative medicine department in Turkish universities. So I have no financial disclosure related with this presentation. And my journey started with Professor Yoshimura. All of you know that. It's a very important person. It's my pioneer in this field. And also I have learned many things from Dr. Dele from France. You know that Dr. Dele is one of the most performant lipo modeling, I mean the fat grafting to the breast in the world. As much as I know, he performed more than 20,000 cases. And Sean Berman, you know that from CSN, and Peter Rubin, all of them very important figures in my life. I'm member of FETS, IFETS, and also I'm the senator, the national delegate of the Express. And we have presented for this subject, for this topic, more than 20 the articles, and also we have 2 chapters. And I'm going to give all their main message in this presentation. But we know that our world is changing. It's so important, you know, that especially for energy field, we prefer the using of renewable energies and we don't want to use for the fossil energy and other types of the other parts of our lives is same. And medicine is changing. We are changing from pharmaceuticals to cellceuticals. I use this analogy always. I believe that pharmaceuticals is like a fast food type of the using of the foods. So you can feel that you are full, but it's not healthy. But the cellceuticals are the resource of the cells resource of the regenerative cells in our body. If we can use, we will have healthy the kitchen. But everything changed, I think, with the revolution of Industry 5.0. Because with a revolution of Industry 5.0, personalization and customization affect the medicine and tissue engineering and regenerative medicine, and also using of the stromal stem cells very popular in our life. So I have no idea, do you believe big pharma theory or not? But we know that there is a paradigm shift. We are using regenerative medicine now. So regenerative medicine offers the hope of replacing cell, tissue, and organ function affected by disease, injury, or aging. So regenerative medicine refers to a general approach to restore, replace, and recreate cells, tissue, and organs. It's not a relief of the symptoms in pharmaceutical therapies. So our body has excellent regenerative capacity, but not like a bacteria or other spices, but still we have very good regenerative capacity, and we should use this capacity instead of using of pharmaceuticals. But it's not easy to use our capacity because in regenerative medicine, for the best results, we should have presence of sufficient cells to provide regeneration, the ability of the cells to regenerate, and the most important thing, we need tissue framework. It's so important. I'm going to give details for that one. So in regenerative medicine, not only organ, but also tissue, cell, and gene, all of them you can use for the treatment and the repair of these structures with the person's own cells on their replacement with new and healthy ones. In case of any damage, the body cells and tissue repair mechanism, which we can call self-regeneration, come into the play and try to repair the damage. When the self-regeneration cannot provide this, disease occurs. And we are talking about one of the biggest market in the world, because we know that the market size for regenerative medicine and surgery more than 50 billion in 2022. And when you look to history of the regenerative medicine and surgery, and you can see the first cell tissue transplantation in Indian surgeons in 2nd century and in plastic surgery and also Gasparov first successful skin autograft, and Swiss surgeon Riverdin fully documented transplantation of fresh skin allografts. And also we know that the first cryopreserved skin graft used in 1971. But we have very important challenge in this subject. The first one is standardization. Regenerative medicine standards are difficult to develop because these technologies and the treatments are complex and rapidly evolving. That's why I'm presenting the new ideas and innovation in this presentation. And regulation. The most important thing, if you ask me, for the regenerative medicine is regulation, because after the FDA and EMA rules, you cannot use the SVF if you don't have CGMP, GLP standards. Regenerative medicine faces regulatory challenge, including the challenge of the navigating a complex regulatory framework. Uncertainty about which regulatory pathways is most appropriate for certain emerging technologies and treatments. So it's so important. And manufacturing. Manufacturing, this is an important step for many technologies and therapies, and regenerative medicine are complex and difficult to produce in large scale. For our pragmatic perspective, for especially plastic surgery and also aesthetic application, what are our difficulties for the, as I said, the legislation and efficacy? We should know that the applicability, especially for the plastic surgery and aesthetic perspective, and cost benefit, and the same results again and pre-expected results. We should note complication and the management of all of them. So when you look this all applications from pragmatic windows, we have three different approach. You can use on-site applications. It's very important for us. You can work with the laboratory. You can use expanded cultured mesenchymal stem cells or on-shelf products as like an exosome. I'm going to discuss all of them with details with you. So, but we should decide the correct nomenclature. We are not talking about here stem cell tracing, because if you prefer the use of stem cell, you should apply the rules of FDA and other regulatory compliance. It's impossible. Also, these stem cells we are talking about here is not the embryogenic stem cells. We are talking about the stromal cells from especially adipose tissue and blood. So we should focus to stromal cell therapy. It's so important. We are not talking about the stem cell. I'm going to give all details. Let's start with stem cell. What is the stem cell? Stem cells are job seeker repeal cells. They can proliferate, they can differentiate, and these actions are based on the signals, growth factors from damaged tissue. And the term of the stem cells is often used generically, but there are three categories of stem cells: the embryogenic pluripotent stem cells, multipotent stem cells, and progenitor stem cell has the most limited differentiation capacity, and as it can only differentiate into the specific cell type. And many sources of stem cells we have, and especially non-embryogenic stem cells we are going to discuss in this presentation. So what we know that stem cells differentiation, self-renewal, angiogenesis, anti-inflammatory, anti-apoptotic, immunomodulation, and induction of secretion of growth factors and cell signaling. With their abilities, they have become indispensable elements of cellular treatments. But we know that in 2005, the International Society of Cell and Gene Therapy, the use of the term of stromal cells, because stem cell and stromal cell is not same the type of the cells. But as again, the most important thing, most important issue for using of them, regulations. And at the beginning, the use from stem cell from cord blood was very popular, and the FDA put the rules, and they use 361 and 351 criteria. So the only according to FDA regulation, only minor handling, if you do, you can use in your clinic, in your routine, clinical routine. And we know that mechanical stromal cell isolation techniques inside of the minor handling, and we can use very safely without have any permission, that one. The most important subject for having of the stromal cells is minimal manipulation criteria. And we know that there are many types of minimal manipulation criteria. If you are inside of, if your application inside of this classification, you don't need to get any permission from any regulatory issues. So we know that all the tissues, organs in our body, there are two types of cells: parenchymal cells and stromal cells. Parenchymal cells are responsible of the function of the organ. For example, the retinal cells in our eye, or cardiomyocytes in heart. But the stromal cells provide support them in case of any trauma, aging, and other factors, they support the living of and the continuing of their function. And so stromal cells are very important in our body. And we know that the most is adipose tissue. And adipose tissue has excellent architecture, and adipose tissue has many cells. The adipocytes, more than 90% adipose tissue volume, but we know that the 1 centimeter cube adipose tissue contains 5 to 7 million cells, including 1 million adipocytes, 1 million adipose-derived stromal cells, and other cytokines and growth factors. And now we are talking about liporegeneration. If you ask me, what is the adipose tissue, I can give different answers. But according to me, the adipose tissue is the most important source of regenerative cells in our body. And you can get the stromal cells from the adipose tissue by 3 different ways: mechanical, enzymatic, and automatic machines. Enzymatic and automatic machines needs to have some standards for the FDA and EMA and your regulatory bodies in your country. So you need to use CGMP or GLP standards. And but if you prefer the mechanical way, you can use very easily. And you know the term of SVF, stromal vascular, is a unique term for using of enzyme. And with this enzyme, I mean collagenase, trypsin, and others, and you have fibroblastic circulating hemopoietic cells, pericytes, endothelial cells, mesenchymal stem cells, and preadipocytes. And those cells, I mean the SVF, you can use for regenerative purposes, anti-inflammatory, and immunomodulatory. And if you compare SVF, stromal vascular fraction, with the adipose-derived stromal cells, in SVF is a kind of cocktail. And you can use for immunomodulation, anti-inflammatory, angiogenesis, and we know that better therapeutical outcome. And also, SVF is a much more easily obtained without need of any cell sorting, culturing, and any regulatory issues. We know that SVF amplifies the repair system. And you remember osteoarthritis, with just only using of stromal cells, you can get very good results, osteoarthritis. I'm going to give more information about that one. Now, I think this is the most important slide in my presentation. This is one of our newest article published in PRS. We made a new classification for adipose-derived stromal cells. We believe that, you remember, classically there were 2 ways, enzymatical way and a mechanical way. But we believe that it should be one philosophy. If you focus the bridges and bonds between parenchymal and stromal cells, as you know, parenchymal and stromal cells, especially in adipose tissue, they have tightened very strong bridges and bonds. If your target is those bridges and bonds, those are target parenchymal cells. I mean, if you want to kill or if you want to lesser amount of parenchymal but relatively more stromal cells, those are indirect methods. In direct methods, there are 2 options. You can use fat or you can use ultra sharp blade system. You can cut those bridges and bonds. If you use fat, if you use enzyme, you cannot use the fat because enzyme accepted as a waste, and the fat will be dirty and you cannot use at the end of the process. But if you use the ultra sharp blade system, at the end of the process, you can use those fat as for the volume restoration or fat grafting. But if you prefer indirect methods called as an emulsification system, defined by Patrick Tonart and the nanofat technique, or microfragmentation system, you kill the fat tissue, or relatively there are less fat tissue, more stromal cells. So And this picture from our the article, you can see the 4 different applications, but we compared histopathological the immunofluorescence techniques, and also we compared with the flow cytometry. In enzyme group, yes, you can have more viability, sometimes 99%, but nucleated cells will be 2 million, and you cannot use the fat at the end of the process. It should be vast. But if you use ultra-sharp plates, then you can get more than 5 million cells, and the viability will be 95%. And you can see the fat is still intact, and you can use for fat grafting. In microfragmentation and emulsification group, nucleated cell amount is so low, and also viability is so low. So probably you remember the article of the Sesse from Pittsburgh. They proved that you can get 10 times more stromal cell when you compare the mechanical way and enzymatical way. And I mean that the opposite to classical data, you can get 10 times more stromal cell by mechanical way. When you compare mechanical and enzymatical way, in a mechanical way, there is less time, the cheap, and you can get 10 times more amount of the cell composition will be better. But if you ask me, what is the most important difference between the methods, I can say that the most important difference is the preserving of extracellular matrix. In mechanical way, we preserve the extracellular matrix, but when you use enzyme, you kill them. It's so important because extracellular matrix is crucial part of our regenerative target. So in mechanical way, you can get 10 times more. We defined a new term called as adenizing. Adenizing is cutting off the fats with ultra-sharp blades to bring the fat tissue to the desired size and to separate the stromal cells from the parenchymal cells in adipose tissue. We are using double-sided real ultra-sharp blade system. Those are patented blades. And the process is so easy between the 2 syringe, back and forward movements 25 times, and you can cut the bone cell bridge between the stromal and parenchymal cells, and also resize the stromal, the adipose sites. There are many techniques, as I said you before, mechanical way, but the latest technique is cutting off the ultra-sharp blades, cutting by ultra-sharp blades. You can see this the small animation. So under local anesthesia, you can harvest the fat and make first centrifuge to the lipocondensation, and then cut between the 2 syringe using of ultra-sharp blade system we called adenizer, and make less centrifuge, and then you can get stromal cell. It's very easy, it's very quick method, and you will have the more cell, you will have excellent viability. But the most important thing, you preserve the extracellular matrix. Extracellular matrix is the most important part of our regeneration. When you look at the evolution of mechanical stromal cell isolation system, it started with 2013. All of you know that, none of it defined by Patrick Donat and Alexis Varpelle. And then Tremolada from Italy defined the bead system, and connector and filter system defined by Cohen. And finally, in 2020, we presented our technique called Mest and Toast. There are a very big team behind of this project, this product. You see Mr. Lee, and now we are using version 4, and we always improve our product. And you can see at the diagram, this is real double-sided ultra-sharp blade system. There are three different universities behind this project, and we made more than 10,000 tries to get the best protocol and the best tool. And we made 1,000 times flow cytometry, and we compare with using dual fluorescence cell counter, and we compared all the techniques with pressure tests. And also two different laboratories from Marseille and London, they prove our efficacy, and also they showed us the cytokines and growth factors inside of final product. So we call the final product is total stromal cells. I'm going to tell the reason, but you can see there is a cell aggregation. You remember we classically call that tissue SVF, and the liquid section stromal cell cellular SVF, and also adenine thread still alive is so important because there is no blood pressure inside. We keep the viability. It's so important, and very small amount of the triglycerides at the above, and you can see four different end products at the end of the process. But please be focused that slide. The most important thing is preserving of extracellular matrix. Without extracellular matrix, you cannot control the regeneration. So extracellular matrix is a non-cellular, three-dimensional macromolecular network secreted by cell cells distributed surrounding cells, and it's vital role maintaining microenvironment for the cells, because extracellular matrix for the upregulation of immune response gain and so on. So it's a conductor of the orchestra. So without conductor of orchestra, please visualize how it will be your the best symphony. But you need a very important conductor of that one. So extracellular matrix is a complex and dynamic entity that supports and interacts with the cells and tissue, regulate the cell proliferation, survival, differentiation, and migration. Without extracellular matrix, I mean without niche of the regenerative source, you cannot have the effect you desired before the application, because niche is typically composed of extracellular matrix and resident cells, including macrophage, myofibroblasts, and other immune cells. It's so important to control the effect of the regenerations, and especially extracellular matrix of the adipose tissue is the best the framework for our body for the regenerative issues. In enzyme, you kill that extracellular matrix, and you will not have very good results. And many articles that are in the literature which prove the when you use a mechanical way, you preserve the extracellular matrix. And our slogan, our take-home message is liberation is activation, because we liberate the stromal cells without killing off the parenchymal cells, and we call this approach as an activated fat grafting. So in 2020, we defined ARAT and MEST. ARAT is adjustable regenerative adipose transfer. MEST is mechanical stromal cell transfer. We call that approach as a gentle touch system because we believe that one of the most sensitive cell in our body is the adipose tissue. If you behave it very gentle, you can get very good results. It's very simple. You can see in this slide, and we give the tumescent. We are using special cannula for the best results. Just waiting 15 minutes, we harvest the fat. We make first centrifuge to have lipocondensate fat, and then we make adenizing. But we need a new nomenclature because SVF is unique term for the enzyme. We make a mega analysis, and we define the total stromal cell as TOST for mechanical way, because SVF and TOST is not the same, and you cannot use the SVF term for the mechanical way. And we called in the literature first indication-based protocols, because when you add the any fluid, a kind of saline ringer lactate PPP, you can get water, a kind of fluid section of the stromal cells. This was so important for the erectile dysfunction, for the hair, for the knee. You need this kind of the fluid section. Until to us, there is no way to have this kind of approach. With our article, we prove that you can get this kind of final results, and it's very easy. At the end of the lipocondensation, we add saline or PPP, platelet poor plasma, and make adenizing. And at the end of the process, I'm sorry, we can get fluid section of the stromal cells, and you can apply wherever you want. So we compared our results, a kind of not only viability and also nucleated cells, but also cytokines and others. We first defined supercharged mechanical stromal cells in the literature because, as you know, we have two important resources, blood PRP and adipose tissue. And in platelet poor plasma, there is a fibrin. And this fibrin is a kind of biological glue. And when we combine with the stromal cells, you can use especially for ovarian rejuvenation or the knee, because the main unsuccessful reason, the main reason of the unsuccessful result is the cells will not stay when you put your target area. I mean, for ovarian rejuvenation, when you apply the ovary, they escape. We need a glue. So we made a supercharge. We combined with the platelet poor plasma with the stromal cells and apply for the knee or for the ovarian tissue, and they adhere the our target area, and we have excellent results. So also, we published 3 stages of stromal cell, solid, liquid, and aerosol. And as you can see here, we use our stromal cells with kind of biological the filler, and with the gel processing, and we get the biological filler. And also, we proved that the using of the aerosol, especially with COVID-19 lung rehabilitation, we got excellent results, and you can use that one stromal cells with aerosol form. And also preventing fat embolism, we defined different ways, and also we make many different articles. And for the hair, we have stromal cell and adipose niche hair transfer stunt hair published in a very popular journal. And also we defined Muscat procedure. Muscat procedure with Dr. Muscat from Malta. For the ovarian rejuvenation, we apply many cases, and we have excellent results. This is the best results. When you make any application, the patient send positive pregnancy test. This is the best result for the people. So we combined with endometrial rejuvenation, and we use for COVID-19 the rehabilitation. And as I shared before, we make a new classification for that one. And also with 3D bioprinting, especially for the ulcers after diabetic patients and diabetic food. And you can get very good results with 3D bioprinting. But this is one of the slides in 2013 in INCAS, access to inaccessible. Why I prefer that one? Because in 1743, Scottish doctor William Hunter defined that once destroyed, the cartilage tissue cannot be repaired. Now we are 2024. Currently, there is no curative intervention. Yes, we are using our exosomes. I'm going to give some details, but all the drugs just for the relief of the symptoms. This is my mom's niece, and we applied the mechanical stromal and totally healed. And I'm going to give many details. We have more than 60 different clinical scenarios, indications for using of the mechanical stromal cells. This is the best result. This gentleman has old professional footballer. He cannot climb, he couldn't climb the stairs before application, and he is very well. So some strong, for aesthetical reason, if you use that one, let me share this one, just using of stromal cells before the application, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. This is 5 years after her application. This is 6 years, and this is 8 years. 8 years, there is no another fat or something like that, just the using of the stromal cells. And also we defined B-spot fat grafting because, as you know very well, the first article by Lexell in 1910, we still don't know the exact the fat grafting pathophysiology. There are host replacement theory, cell survival theory, but we know that thanks to the works of Yoshimura, adipose-derivated stromal cells plays the best role for the retention of the stromal cells. So we can liberate them, we can get very good results. We believe that liberating of the regenerative stromal cells by cutting off the fat, you will get very good results. And also for the definition, it started being an almond size, walnut size. There is no still accepted mathematical definition, but we feel that using of the hyaluronic acid filler, you can use a kind of confection. Fat grafting, a kind of macro fat, you know that those are totally related with the harvested cannula size. We can call it made to measure tailoring, but our approach is bespoke tailoring, and you can use for different anatomical areas for different ways. This lady had the morbid obesity surgery. If you use non-adenized fat, as you can see in the video, you cannot control it. It can be make a lump and uncontrolled the fat grafted. But for example, for the 4,000 micron fat adenite, you can use for the over the periosteum, 2400 for the nasolabial area, you can use it, we resize it, and also you can see for malar augmentation, 1200 micron for periorbital region. It's one of the hardest region, 600 or 400 micron. For smoker area, 400 micron, you can use it. For the stent here, we prefer 100 micron. And the post, I mean the stromal cells, you can use all the part of the body. And you can see 6 months, 1 year, and 3 years after her operation. And there's no any complication, and we will get very good retention rate and also very good results. For the breast, it's so important. We called it gift wrapping because we not only change the volume, but also quality of the skin. Now I have remaining 4 minutes, and I would like to focus 2 different approach. One of them, our new product, is we called it platelet with a rich plasma, because in PRP, this is a kind of jungle. There are huge amount of the products in PRP market. So we are using the density, we are using the centrifuge by anticoagulants according to density. But we believe that we can get with special designed PRP tubes, platelet with rich plasma. We called it more than 20 fold thrombocytes, and PRP more than 2 folded and platelet per plasma. You know that platelets are cytoplasmic fragments of megakaryocytes formed in the marrow and approximately 2 millimeter in diameter. And they contain more than 30 bioactive proteins. It's so important for the regenerative medicine and surgery. So generally accepted that if you need very good result, you should have minimum 5-fold platelet concentration. But we accepted if you have 2-fold, you can say PRP, but clinically there is no good results. That's why the main reason in the unsuccessful results in PRP techniques is it's your platelet concentration is so low. So platelets is real very good tool for us because they have important growth factors and also the fibrin. So But the world of the platelet concentrates for the surgical use actually a jungle of commercial proposals and unclear products. We thought that we need a new tool, and we designed a new product called as the Cox system. With the wheels, we can get the platelet very rich plasma with 3 chambers to enter points, and then 20 times more, 20 folds with the platelet concentration. It's very easy way, and it's same in all other techniques. We collect the blood. It's about 30 milliliter, and you can adjust between the 10 to 50 and put our developed the kit. And as you can see here, there are 2 centrifuge steps. And at the end of the stage, as you can see here, there is a platelet very rich plasma here, PRP here, and the platelet poor plasma here. And I mean, with this technique, you can get three different end products, and you can use very easily with the micro needling or also this kind of nappage. Now I have only 1 minute, and I can share our new approach for the extracellular vesicle, very well known and very popular now. Exosomes. Exosomes secreted from various cells are nanovesicles between 30 and 200 nanometer. They are the micromolecules, especially micro RNAs, and it's very, very popular. But I like in, please don't get me wrong, using of exosomes, a kind of many years ago, using of cortisone, steroids. We should know all the details. We know that exosomes communication between neighboring and distant cells via paracrine ways, and the exosomes present all living species and all body of fluids, and main source for us. And we are going to discuss all details in Bangkok meeting, FETS 2024, composition of exosomes, and especially the most important thing is, I think, production of the exosomes. There are many sources and many different methods. And as you can see, ultracentrifugation, ultrafiltration, and other techniques. But we believe that especially IPS technology is so important for the exosomes. I'm going to give all details in our meeting. But we know that all exosomes are not different. And then even the same cells can produce different exosomes on different situations. There are pros and cons for the using of exosome. We should discuss. But we need, if you use for the simple the conditions, I mean, just for the face and or a kind of rejuvenation, there's no problem. But if your expectation is high, especially for the burning of the patient, you should control the effect, and you need a kind of framework. We are going to discuss all the details in Bangkok, Thailand, but in plastic surgery, there are huge amount of the exosomes in the market. We should know the differences. We should know the strategy to choose the best one. But we have new application. We called it authorization and the optimization of the exosomes. We are going to read within the 2 weeks in PRS. Extracellular matrix is so important for also exosome. If you combine extracellular matrix with the exosomes, you can optimize the effect. For example, this lady had a burn injury 70 years ago. We want to use exosome, but it's not easy to use a simple way. We developed a new blade system, 35 micron, ultra, very sharp the blade system. We preserve all the extracellular matrix and also keep all the cells, not cells, keep all the contents inside, but there is no parenchymal cell inside. There is no adipocyte, as you can see here. When we combine with that one, you see this is the just 1 month after her operation. And I'm going to show you the excellent result in Bangkok, Thailand. but it's so important. We are not making decellularization, we are making deparenchymization. When you combine with the exosome, you will get excellent results. In the hardest case, it's so important. For example, in that lady, again, the burn injury, and with combining all the tools for regenerative purposes, you will get very good results. Now, I'm inviting you, FEST 2024, we are going to discuss with all details and all our instruments. And again, I do thank you for your attention, and thank you very much for this presentation. Thank you, Eddie.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Irek Kopcu, for the great presentation.
Thank you.
Participants, you can put your questions on the Q&A chat or the chat group. All right. So, Professor Irek Kopcu will be in FEST Bangkok, scheduled on the end of June 28th. May I share my screen? Okay.
Let me stop my screen. That's okay.
Yeah. So yes. Yep. So we'll be on the 28th to 30th of June. You can meet up with all the distinguished speakers from the European side. And over here is that there also some of the newest technology will be available in the FAST Bangkok. Okay. So the main congress will be on the 28th to 30th of June, and we have 2 days cadaver masterclass after which. And unfortunately, today is the last day for the early bird. Well, if any of you wants to register, please, you can log on the www.fest.my. All right, and this is the early bird registration fees. Okay. In fact, I think, Professor, you have run over time, 20 minutes ahead.
Thank you so
I
much.
think it's
Yeah,
okay. Yep.
I'm sorry. Because
Yeah.
we have more than 3,000 different cases, and also we perform more than 60 different clinical indications. I want to explain all of them, but probably you will
Yes.
give me 1 or 2 days just for INFAT, so I can share all my details, and
Yes. I
I'm
think that
going to
is why I
give tips
think
and tricks.
it will be a great occasion to welcome you to Bangkok.
Thank you so much, Eddie. And
Yeah,
also,
no worries.
exosomes are a very popular subject. You know that the huge amount of products and also
Yes,
different types. We should discuss.
there's a Korean company is coming in to share their presentation as well in FAST Bangkok, and the
Perfect.
Adenizer company is also coming to participate in FAST Bangkok. All
Perfect.
right. I think yes. Okay. Is there any final words from you before we end this webinar, Professor Irek Kopcu?
I do thank you. I'm inviting all the people for our meeting in FETS, because we will discuss. But I can say that the regeneration is our new treatment model in changing world, and we should know all the things as a kind of doctors and also surgeons. Thank you very much again for giving this chance and share my knowledge with this distinguished people. And I wish you very good new week from tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Yes. So with that, we shall end this webinar by Professor Irek Kopcu, because now I think we are about time to end this. Okay. So
Okay.
thank you very much, all participants, and Professor Irek Kopcu for this
Thank you.
evening session, sharing session. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.